Hey y'all, it's Saturday. I thought I was going to have a stay-at-home, be lazy, answer comments day. But Mary Jo called and she needs to go to the grocery store. And I must admit, I wanted to go see a movie too. So that's what I'm going to do today. And, you know, the second part of the video that I put out about my mom, you could say that that is a kind of downer video, but really I didn't intend for it to be. It's really an uplifting video because the people in our lives that cause us pain can also be such a blessing to us. But what I'm going to talk, y'all excuse the noise, it is like 86 degrees, so it's hot. I'm taking the van to the mechanic on Monday to see if he can tell me what the problem is with the air conditioner. Now y'all, I'm praying and crossing my fingers that it's merely going to be a matter of putting refrigerant in it. I don't even know if that's the right word. Coolant goes in your radiator. So refrigerant, I think, goes in your air conditioner. But anyway, we'll see. I'm going to talk about elder abuse. Now, y'all, I hope with all my heart that you have not experienced that. It's a terrible, terrible thing. And unfortunately, the older we get, the more frail we get. And the more dependent on other people we get. Now, it's really been documented. Maybe y'all have seen shows about it or documentaries on nursing homes, not just old state-run facilities, but nice nursing homes where women have been raped and old people have been hit and punched and thrown to the floor. That is just as bad as child abuse, y'all. Do you hear that? That's somebody that ran up in the slow lane right up on this poor person's bumper. And they were honking for them to get out of the way. Shame on them. The only time I ever honk at somebody, and I try not to lay down on my horn, is if somebody's backing out right into me. Something of that nature. But anyway, one of my very good friends, her husband, to augment their income, was a caregiver. He was a very kind and compassionate person in that field. He was not a good husband. But he never physically laid a hand on my friend. She probably would have killed him. But anyway, he was a caregiver for this older gentleman who really spent all of his time either in a wheelchair or in his hospital bed at home. And the family was wealthy, and they had to have round-the-clock care for their dad and their grandfather, you know, whichever family member you want to think about. Well, He was giving this gentleman a sponge bath, and he saw bruises on this man's back that were the size of somebody's fist. And he asked the old man, he goes, "Is somebody hitting you?" And the old man just sat there and he shook his head, "No, really, really easy. Definitely not emphatically." So Ricky asked him again. He got down in front of him. He was in his wheelchair. And Ricky asked him again, "Is somebody hitting you?" And the old man put his head down, and tears were running down his face. Can you imagine being so frail that you can't protect yourself against somebody hitting you, punching you, knocking you down in the floor? Seniors have also been the victim of somebody who twisted their arm so hard that they got a circular, there's a better name for that, broken bone. It's horrendous. Ricky, of course, had to call the elder abuse people. They fired him, of course. But we all hoped that that poor man was not abused anymore. If any of you are suffering abuse from anybody, a caregiver, a family member, I don't care who they are. I don't care if they are your son, your daughter, a granddaughter or grandson. I do not care. You guys protect yourselves. Call Senior Protective Services. And if anybody has a senior or elderly relative and you know that there is abuse, you owe it to that person to save them from that abuse. You owe it to them. Now, as I put in my description about abuse, that children that have been beaten and starved and molested and neglected, when CPS comes to intervene, those children cling to their parent or whoever is caring for them. They do not want to leave. An elderly person who's being abused might be the same way. They may not want to be separated from the person who is doing the abusing. But if you know about it, you have a responsibility, because if you allow it, you're almost as bad as the abuser. Now, I don't mean to get ugly, but if you can stand by and let this happen, Are you not an accessory to the abuse? I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. That's not my intent. My intent is that if anybody knows of a senior who's being abused in any way, please don't let that go unreported. I'm going to tell you something. People that are violent, and we know this too, it is statistically proven that it will continue to escalate. Especially someone who is physically abusive. It may start with a shove, and then it'll go to a slap, and then it'll go to a punch. Don't fool yourself. Do not fool yourself into thinking that it's going to stop. You can't talk to somebody and reason with somebody that is sick and is an abuser. You can't do that. You cannot reason with them. You cannot beg them. You cannot shame them. You can't. I know. I've been there. I've seen it. I've had it happen to me. I've volunteered for battered women before. I couldn't do it very long, y'all. It's terrible. Please don't stand by and do nothing. Now, the person that you are trying to rescue, they may hate you for it. Just like CPS, when they pick up a child that's been abused, that child will hate the people that are rescuing them. But that can't let us stop from helping these people, whether it's children or seniors or battered women or even battered men. We can't let that stop us from saving them. Think how you would feel if the abuse escalated and that person was severely injured. Seniors don't recover from that, y'all. You know that when we break something, that's like the kiss of death right there. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. But man, oh man, y'all. I would hope and pray that if one of my kids was abusing me, that somebody would stop them. I may not like it, but it could potentially save my life. So y'all, it's hard to make a video like this and then tell you to do something fun today, but I am telling you that. I'm taking Mary Jo to the grocery store and we're going to see a movie. So that's our fun today, y'all. I love you, and please be patient with me answering my comments. This next week is going to be, I'm going to be busy every single day. I don't like that. I like to be busy one day and not busy the next, but sometimes life just doesn't shake out like that. Duty calls. So anyway, I'm going to shut this video off. We're getting into some heavy duty traffic here. So y'all be safe, and I'll talk to you later.